This Is Us first aired on NBC in 2016 to critical acclaim. The show is a multi-generational story that follows Jack and Rebecca Pearson, as well as their three children Kevin, Kate, and Randall, through multiple timelines. Throughout its run, This Is Us has been one of the most popular shows on network television. Beth Pearson, played by Susan Kelechi Watson, has long been a fan favorite among the characters of NBC timeline family drama This Is Us. She's been an important part of the show's wrap-up in Season 6. Rather of enabling her dramatic in-laws and husband to fully express their deepest feelings, Beth has gently reminded them, and the audience, that drama isn't the only way to go, whether through pointed asides or wonderfully timed punchlines. She pulls the family and the show back to earth and models her own unique brand of motherhood, all while wrapping out her dance career in a typically low-key, but moving, manner. Beth has quietly given this final season with a crucial dose of unsentimental stability, alongside some of the show's biggest laughs, from her silent comfort of her girls to her bemused replies to her in-laws' antics to her firm support of a fallen dancer. This Is Us follows the Pearson family over the span of nearly a century, from flashbacks to the Pearsons' childhoods through flash-forwards to the 2040s, when Rebecca is on the verge of dying. Jack and Rebecca have three children: twins Kate, Chrissy Metz and Kevin, Justin Hartley, and adopted Randall, Sterling K. Brown, all of whom were born on the same day and in the same hospital where Jack and Rebecca had their twins, but lost a third child. The show spends the majority of its time in the present day, with brief flashbacks to the Big Three's early infancy and adolescence. Beth is Randall's wife and one of the many people related to the Big Three by blood or marriage, all of whom have their own backstories and flashbacks. It's a tearjerker, whether it's via drawing connections across decades and time frames to the love and memories that bind this family together, or by leaning into the tragedy that molded their lives, Jack's early death from smoke inhalation being the key one. Beth, on the other hand, isn't known for crying easily. Rather, she is the least stressful person in this entire family, as Kate puts it, and is more grounded and less prone to emotional outbursts than her husband or his relatives. This has never made her gloomy or pessimistic. Rather, she has always been a refreshing dose of common sense, good humor, and clarity, the caustic, bright, and firmly loving partner, sister-in-law, and mother who has no qualms about calling out folly. Watson gives Beth a compelling warmth and a sharp tongue, making her one of the show's most dynamic and beloved characters. We've witnessed her overcome marital difficulties, employment instability, and the strain of fostering and adopting Deja. Watson is more than capable of bringing Beth's pain and conflict to the surface when called upon. She shines brightest, however, as the steady, funny force that keeps Randall's feet on the ground without tying him down, all while aiming for her own stars. This has been true since her initial appearance, and she's always been a standout. Even their beautifully executed but much-panned hard time in Season 3 has faded into a blip in their supporting and passionate relationship. Beth's dependability and quick wit have proven even more welcome and necessary to completing the show's tapestry, as the performance nears its completion and emotions are running higher than ever. When Randall insists on a stress-free Thanksgiving, she responds with a giggle that both prepares us for the hardship ahead and gives us permission to cry the tears we know are coming. I love your heart. I admire your drive. Lovely people, however, will be the epitaph for the Pearsons. I wept much. Thanksgivings that are as dramatic as heck. Beth breaks the tension hanging thick in the home and offers an oasis of laughter in an episode that will only get more difficult with a simple let's. Let this happen in a later episode, as Kate embraces Randall in an unexpectedly sobbing hug. Watson's impeccable comedic timing has been on display this season more than ever, making us laugh before we inevitably cry. Our Little Island Girl, Part 2, Watson's season opening episode, is a particularly bright illustration of this framework and Watson's ease with it. It's the follow-up to a cherished Season 3 episode that revealed Beth's past, including her father's untimely death and a dance dream that was never realized. The Season 6 finale brings Beth full circle, and she is feeling the pressure on the night of the recital that will determine the success or failure of the scholarship program she now leads at a high-level dancing academy. I don't mean to put too much pressure on you, baby, but I'm freaking out right now, and I'm going to need one of your all-time greatest pep talks, and I'm going to need it now. The audience prepares to melt as Randall squares up and puts on his finest big speech voice. But Beth interrupts him after approximately 4 words. Damn it. I have to pee again. She apologizes and rushes out in quest of a restroom. It's a wonderful Beth moment, with a laugh-out-loud moment right when we're poised for feelings. She has other things to accomplish, so the big Randall speech will have to wait. It's humorous, it's grounded, but it's also a magnificent moment of their marriage, silent strength in Watson's hands. She doesn't need the speech because she already knows it. She'll pee again, and everything will be okay. In a show that is heavily involved in parenting, Beth offers her own take on it, which has been put to the test this season. Deja, their adoptive 17-year-old daughter, is head over heels for Malik, a Saint Black, a single father from their Philadelphia neighborhood who is now a Harvard student. Whenever Deja slips away one end of the week to be with him, the couple's expression of remorse turns tense as they get ready to declare their arrangement for Deja to graduate early and move to Boston. Randall falls hard for the demonstration every one of the three girls set up, Eris Baker as Tess and Faith Herman as Annie. Yet Beth has an unsentimental yet cherishing dab on the entirety of her children. Tess is showing unusual interest in things she is out of this world uninterested in, and I ain't heard a thump joke in this house in a spotless 7 years. Beth confirms it's a tactic. Her confident hand and careful attention additionally make her a strikingly sympathetic mother. After Deja sneaks off to Boston, Beth establishes that possibly she or Randall need to remain cool, subsequent to proposing burying Deja on the terrace, of course. So as opposed to upbraid her, Beth sits with her quietly, a delicate hand on her lower leg, until she's prepared to talk. She is a comparatively strong source of maternal love when Deja gets back home after one more unsanctioned outing to Boston, this one completion in a separation. She realizes Deja is harming beyond whatever Beth and Randall might heap on, so she wraps her in an embrace. Beth grasps her girls, and when Randall lets his enormous Pearson sentiments guide his nurturing, Beth is there to offer a strong groundwork of care without extravagance. It is one more invite source of difference in a season that is particularly inspired by Rebecca's kind of motherhood. As her ailment rapidly denies her of the capacity to try it, Beth can pull off a major sensational Pearson speech, as well as any of them, however as consistently it is with her distinctive quiet and incisiveness. She gets to in Our Little Island Girl, Part 2. While her late-night call to defy an old dance teacher and recover her power is the more characteristically Pearson speech, the more effective second, and the one that is most Beth, is the point at which the dancer she was generally stressed over, Jaslyn Martin, the person who had her nervously peeing the entire evening, falls during her pirouette. Notwithstanding realizing that this mishap could crash Beth's own juvenile profession at the studio, she just sits with her fallen dancer in front of an audience. Her enormous speech is not about her own sentiments, but rather about her understudies. I believe you should realize that I will sit with you on this stage until everybody in this crowd gets exhausted and tired and leaves individually. With a base number of talks yet most extreme effect, Beth is a welcome portion of clear peered toward unwistfulness, while never killing this as an enormous, soothing mindset. While she's forever been an interesting power, one that can be an aid for crowds less lean to tears and announcements, her reasonableness has been much more pivotal this season as the show inclines up to its final stage. Between Rebecca's propelling sickness, Kate's marital disturbance, Kevin's quest for himself, her girls' young dramatization, Randall's adjustments to his girls growing up, and the rising pace with which the show is dashing toward the far future, and Rebecca's likely passing, feelings are running higher than any time in recent memory. So it's significantly more vital for Beth to take the show back to earth occasionally. By reminding her friends and family, and those of us watching them, that only one out of every odd inclination needs to take off.